You gained a bunch of MMR and got some win streak and started losing everything back to your original MMR, or even lower. Is it a forced 50% system, where Gabe himself sends ruiners into your team, or pairs you with someone who has been on a lose streak? Why are you losing? Let's find out. The story starts from winning some games. You're king of the world, you're feeling great, and now you're on 6-game win streak. And you should be around 150 MMR higher than your original bracket. Around 25 MMR for each win. And in the next game, system puts you into the game that would be 300 MMR higher than your original bracket. Unless you're going to play around that level, you're most likely going to be at that weight and will drag your team down. On top of that, there are things that people do in this bracket that you might not know of, or you know but didn't implement it yet. It is the first time you're playing here. You can't know the default play of your position, and you will make mistakes, and it's fine. So you lose this game, but you listen to your favorite Berserk quote, and now you're ready for your next game.
You're going to be alright.
But the same thing happens in the next game, and in third game, you're not thinking straight, and you're focused on winning the game than actually playing the game, which leads into another lose. This lose makes you extremely focused on two things: on winning this game, and if your teammates make mistakes or not, because it's surely them, not you. In the process, you end up performing way worse, because you are not focused on what you should during the game, and your thoughts are not in the present moment. When any of your teammates make even a slight mistake, you're mad. You call them out, you ping their missed spell, or that they died for a second time on the lane, or you made the mistake that resulted in your death, and you ping your lane partner, or you blame anyone else. It must be them who didn't play good, not you. Guess what? Another lose. If you were to check on yourself, you'd clearly see that you're now tilted. I doubt there will be one player across the planet that wouldn't be affected by losing so many games in a row. But you're going for more, expecting a different result. Next game, you meet a ruiner, or you end up staying AFK for whatever reason. You're angry now. How could this happen to me? I was so much higher just a day ago. Now you're sitting with only thought: the system must be rigged. You convinced yourself, while creating a Reddit post about your interesting observation that thousands of people made before. A couple of other things might have happened as well. Meta changed. The heroes you were winning with are less effective. Example, I was spamming gyrocopter support at the start of the patch, but once Mage Slayer got discovered, my win rate with the hero dropped. You might be facing some problems in real life. This can genuinely affect how you play the game, can reduce the available focus and make you play worse. Try to take care of yourself as much as you can before playing if you'd want to get better results. But is there actually anything that you could have done differently in order to avoid this lose streak? The answer is yes. First one, focus on controllables. Focus is a limited resource. If you spend too much focus on useless things, you'll have no focus left on things that actually matter. Let's say your available focus is the chronosphere. Your teammates are the things that is useless to spend focus on, and enemies are the important things that you should spend focus on. If you end up spending focus on the useless things, you will increase your chances of losing, but if you spend focus on the right things, you increase your chances of winning. Now that we know about focus, let me tell you about controllables. These are things that are directly in your control, and ideally, you should be focusing only on these things, 100% of the time. This is the list of things you can or can't control. Let's go over some of them. Other people, what they say, do, think, their opinion. Technically, if you break into their apartment and put a gun against their head, you have some control over them. But that would be too much effort for just one game of Dota. mistakes that happen or will happen. You also don't have control over mistakes. They just happen sometimes. Spending focus on thinking about them or blaming yourself is a waste. Thinking of mistakes that can happen is also something that will drain your focus. RNG. Any percentage in the game is not something you can fully control. Match outcome is something you can only influence by doing things you have control over. I also remember Snaking said in one of his recent interviews, don't focus on the outcome, focus on what you need to do so your game will be in a better state in 5 minutes. Things that you control. Your decisions. Starting from what hero you choose, item build that you want to choose for this specific game, or the decision if you want to TP to that awful fight and die with your team. This all is fully up to you. How you control your hero, how you move your camera. Playing your hero is in your reach. Anything that you do with your hero should be in your focus until the rest of the game. Your attitude. If you come into each of the games with no expectations from your teammates and thinking, I want to learn as much as I can from this game, or with the mindset of, how far can I go? It will bring you higher than you can ever expect. Your thoughts. You can keep saying to yourself, oh, we lost, there's no point playing, and it will affect you. Or you can keep asking yourself useful questions like, how do I deal with this hero? How do I win this game? Something that helps you in your game. Any reassurance like, we can still win this, is going to passively buff you to keep trying, to keep playing. And once in a while, it will let you win one more game than you should have, because anyone else would have given up a long time ago. Things that you say. Player's ego is very fragile, and you should try to express yourself in either a neutral or a positive way. Don't say what you think in voice. Sometimes saying nothing will be better than even mentioning a mistake. Tell your teammates info, like this guy is missing or enemies are about to smoke, in a way that they can understand and do something about it. Example, enemy lion is coming top rune, play for bottom rune. And when someone is trying to attack you, it is easier to say, my bad, or simply mute the root player and move on, so you don't spend too much focus on things you have no control over. Keep focusing on controllables, and try to focus less on things that you have no control over. Next is basically a small rule that I use, is to check on yourself after each game. Check if you're alright. If you find yourself not being in a good state, try to take a break and fix that. Calm yourself. Take a walk, meditate, watch an episode of your favorite show, do some exercises, eat dinner, take a shower. Anything that will get you in a better state. Remember that if you're in a good state mentally and physically, your performance will get better, and your ability to learn will also be higher than usual. Next thing that might help you, I've learned while I was in Into the Breach as a coach's little helper. We had meetings with professional psychologists, Isaac and Andras from AP. They're specializing on esports psychology. Feel free to check them out, link in the description. This advice that I got from them, I end up using every day. Do what you can do, or do your next best thing. Example, you committed and missed your spell. Instead of trying to make that play work, next best thing you can do is to get back to safety and try again. Next point will allow you to stay in higher bracket after you had a win streak. Focus on mastery goals, not result goals. What is the difference? I want to gain 500 MMR is a result goal. I want to improve my decision making is a mastery goal. If you end up spending too much focus on the results, you will be upset when your MMR drops or stays the same for a long period of time. Having a result goal there is a place where you want to be after some time, but it doesn't give you any direction. It's like drawing an owl following these steps. Mastery goals are the necessary steps in order to reach your goals. After you made enough steps, you'll reach your result, And since you were actually focusing on improving and understanding the game, this time you will stay there. Re-evaluating your game after you played it will help you understand what you lack. Spend a couple of minutes thinking of the game and checking whatever you need to check, either after the game or at the end of your day, so you have something to carry over to your next games. This is the finishing touch after each match played. Sometimes you won't know exactly what you're doing wrong. That's where you can seek for help. Try making posts in these subreddits, Learn Dota 2 and True Dota. Both are amazing resources for improving at the game. Also, there are 2 channels in my Discord server where I answer your questions. So if you feel that you're stuck and you have a specific question, feel free to use them. And if you think that this isn't enough, I offer coaching sessions. On the coaching session you will get an analysis of the game, or sometimes a couple of games, learn a way to analyze your own games, get a recording of the session so you can come back to it anytime, and the summary of the session. Check prices in the Discord. Thank you for your like and subscription. Any feedback in the comments is appreciated. Thanks for watching and see you next time.